Alright, hello, this is a tutorial of how to set up your works cited media bias annotated bibliography. The media bias annotated bib has three main features. The first is MLA format, which has already been established here. The second is it's going to have MLA formatted citations, which I'm going to show you right now. And then the third thing is it's going to have the reflection paragraphs, and that will come later. So in order to do citations, you're going to have two places that you're going to utilize to get the citations. I'm going to start with the MEL sources. So when you have your MEL source, hopefully you were able to save the web link and you can just find the web link and open the MEL source up. If you can't, you're going to have to go back down and you're going to have to explore the databases again and track down the original source. So I was able to track down my original source off of MEL. I'm going to go back to my MEL source and I'm going to open it up to this page, and then I'm going to go over in the corner, and right here is cite. MEL sources are actually pretty easy to cite because the citation has already been organized for you. So clicking under cite, it's going to give me this article in a whole bunch of different formats. You want to use MLA. That's the formatting required for English documents. So I'm going to highlight this citation. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it into here. Now when it pastes, it's going to kind of do some awkward formatting, and you're going to have to fix this. So the first thing that this has done is there is a very slight gray highlight, and the indentation is wrong. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to take the highlight off. The second thing is the font is this different font. This is Arial. This is Arial, but the sizing's wrong. So I'm going to highlight it again, and I'm going to change it so the font is the right font. And then I'm going to keep it highlighted, and I'm going to do something called the hanging indent. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to pull this whole thing over to this first hash mark up here. So that hash mark is right here. It's not the one, but it's in between. I'm going to pull the entire blue thing over and get it on the right hash mark. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to grab this skinny rectangle, and I'm going to pull just that back over to the gray area. And now it has the correct hanging indent. The last thing is, MEL sources are not 100%. None of the citations are going to be 100% accurate. You always need to double check and assume that they're wrong. So this looks good because it has an author. The thing that I'm really checking for is there an italics published information there? And then the last thing I'm looking for is every major word in the title capitalized? Are there any weird capitalization things going on that need to be fixed? But overall, this citation looks pretty good. So that's how to do MEL. Track the source, look for cite over here, copy paste it, and then make sure you polish it up. So after my MEL sources, I'm going to have to do my sources off of the regular web. So I'm going to track down my original source. This is a source that I did with you guys, and I annotated it as a model. So I'm tracking my source down, and then I'm going to go to easybib.com. Easybib.com is an organizer for you, but it's a robot. And you need to realize that when you do the organizational tool of EasyBib, which this is taking me to a kind of general site, when you do this, you want to make sure it is always double checked, because nothing is foolproof. It's a robot and it always makes errors. So you're going to get your source, which is a website. You're going to go over here. You're going to copy it over. That's the source in its annotated format. And then I'm going to paste it in here. And when I paste it, I'm going to just be clicking a lot of orange buttons. And those orange buttons are going to move you through the robotic stages of organization. So the first thing is it's asking, is this the correct source? And I do recognize it was the USA Today, so I'm going to click the orange button again. Now it's telling you as a robot that it's found all the information it could, but there's some information that they need help with, like the robot can't find it, and they want you to double check. So you hit the orange, and then it's going to take you to this kind of fill-in-the-blank setup. Assume everything in this is wrong, and you need to double check it. So the article title should be 5 years later, Balloon Boy family still searching for fame. And what you're going to do is a lot of toggling. You're going to go back and forth to double check information. So I'm going to check if the title's correct, and I'm also going to check to see if Stacy Nick is our author. So 5 years later, Balloon Boy, Family Soul Search for Fame, Stacy Nick, that information looks good. I'm going to scroll down. If you don't have an author's name, don't fill it out. If nothing is there, you leave it blank. Author's information is almost always located up at the top of the page, but sometimes it is located at the bottom. The next thing is it's going to ask me for the website title, and it's going to ask me who pays for this website. This information traditionally is the same, but we're going to see if there's something different. So the website title will be at the top of the page, and the sponsor will probably be at the bottom. So as I go up to the top, it is definitely USA Today. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to see who the sponsor is. And unfortunately, it's not located at the bottom. And that's because sometimes it's missing, sometimes it's in a different location. So I'm scrolling through to see if it's located anyplace else, and I realize it's actually not here because it's this is like a pop-up. So I'm going to actually have to cancel this out for a minute. And then I'm going to have to go all the way down to the bottom of the regular source. And I'm looking, and it says it is copyrighted 2018 by USA Today, which is a division of that satellite network. So in honesty, I could use USA Today, or I could do this because it's kind of the bigger company that puts it together. So I'm going to copy that just in case. That looks pretty good, and that's exactly how it was. The only thing I think was in it was LLC, but that's alright, we don't need to add that. The URL should be mandatory, and then the last thing you want to double check is the publishing date. Unfortunately, I exited out of my source, but I do still have my source right here, and the published date is right up here, and it's October 15th, 2014. October 15th, 2014. So I double checked everything. All the information that I have available has been put on there, and I'm going to create the citation. Now, it loves to do this, which basically means you have to pay, or you have to watch an advertisement in order to, Alright, so, oh my goodness. Alright, so, now you've had me awkwardly cough, you've had my daughter talking through most of this video, and you had to watch that weird advertisement. Basically, EasyBib is free, but only if you watch advertisements every 2 days or every 48 hours. So I just did my little duty of watching the advertisement, and now it's allowed me to go to the citation. So the robot has organized it for me, and it's right here. I'm going to copy it just like I did Mel. I'm going to take it to the bib, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to watch as it, you'll see the format has gotten a little screwy, so I'm going to highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to make sure it's still all Arial. Make sure it's still all 11-point font. And then the next thing I need to evaluate, I'm going to space it out a little bit, but I'm going to ask myself, is it in alphabetical order? So I'm double checking to make sure this looks good. It has an author, it has a title, it has the italics publisher, it has a date and a website, but it is not in alphabetical order. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in. And now I have two sources cited. I don't have my paragraphs yet, and that will come later, but at least I'm on the right track, and I should have 4 to 5 citations. And it's the same process. Either go through Mel or go through EasyBib. And that is the end of my first tutorial.